Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here with my friends from Odyssey Relocation. We got Josh Hyatt, Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and David Toledo, Director of Global Business Development. How are y'all doing today?
Hey, what's going on, Ben? Good to be here, man.
What's up, Ben? Good to see you, brother.
It's good to see y'all here on the show. This is great. I feel like I'm at a BAMM conference right now. I'm running all my besties from the Westies. You know what I mean? It's like, this is great. I can't wait. This is so fun. And David, it looks like you've got is that a intern? What's over there, David? What do you?
Oh yeah. I got a little puppy. I'm dog sitting. He's not so little though. He's a
Oh my gosh, yeah, little. I think would
monster. Look at this thing.
Oh my gosh.
So I apologize.
Beautiful dog.
At any point he asks for attention, but he very likely will jump on screen at some point.
Right. Well, people love dogs. So, get in the comments here, check in with us, let us know who you are, where you are. If you got questions for David and Josh, nothing's off limits. I will ask anything.
I was wondering when you were going to make that comment about BAMM, by the way. I feel like you're
early.
BAMM jokes all day.
Well, no, I mean, BAMM is great. BAMM is, I mean, I hate to say it, like I've served on the board of 2 or 3 regionals, and I'll say it. I think BAMM is probably the best regional relocation group, at least in the States.
I'll take it. I won't say it, but I'll take it, Ben.
I mean, you were thinking it, I mean, put in the comments your favorite regional right now. If you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm smoking some of that West Coast, put it in the comments. Let me know. Am I off base here in saying that? Let me know. We got people from Tejas in the house. We got Andy Galecki from San Diego. What's up, Andy? Good to see you. Jonathan Johnson from Prosper, Texas. What's up, Jonathan? Super producer Adam Sotelo. Give him a round of applause. Thank you, Adam, for everything you do. Appreciate your service. Thanks for putting up with me. Glomo HQ in the house. Beautiful dog, David. Anonymous LinkedIn user. Hey,
there it is. Right on cue. That was cool.
Wow. It's a talented dog.
Thank you right back.
He's got it well trained.
Well, I don't know how you heard that because I'm on the
that's a
good
good
earphones
dog.
here.
Is it okay? Is it your dog or somebody else's dog, Dave? What's going on?
Puppy sitting for a neighbor, full German Shepherd, tons of energy, razor sharp teeth.
So Ben, I've had 4 German Shepherds in my family, and I think they were just trying to copy me at this point, honestly. And
I thought that was
sure
the blueprint for
my review's
success,
coming
wasn't
up.
it? Yeah.
His review's coming up. He's just kissing up to the boss.
Last year was like not enough German Shepherds in your personal
Not enough German
life.
Shepherds. I mean, I like that he takes feedback, which is great. So anyone who can take feedback is good, and David's good at taking feedback. So
super coachable. That's great. I love Mike Falia. I love seeing my SoCal boys on the show. Have a great show, fellas. What's up, Mike? Jill Rush in the house. Looking forward to hearing what these gurus have to say. Now you'll have to deliver like real life, factually based content now.
We got content for you when you're ready. But let's we can
hot wing process. Yeah. Let's Lisa Ross here. Josh is the best. Wow.
That's a good term. She only says that because I use the word "the best" a lot. I'm a big fan. I've got opinions on lots of things, Ben, and so I tend to use the word. This vacation's the best. This wine's the best. This restaurant's the best. So I think that's what she means. Not that I'm actually the best. I'm sure.
Adam, we might need to queue up Josh's top 5 bests. You mentioned wines, vacations. Dog types, dog breeds.
There's Michael James. By the way, let me clarify. I totally made that up yesterday on the comments about Michael eating 42 wings and some pretzels.
What is it with you, Cali folks, and the chicken wings? I thought that was a Buffalo thing, and then I tuned into LinkedIn one day, and I'll be honest with you, Josh Hyatt, just for one moment today, okay? Not for the rest of the show, but right now I'm going to come clean. I had a little pang of jealousy in my tummy when I saw your BAMM videos with the hot wings. I thought that was excellently produced. Like
Thanks,
some
man.
of the top 5 video content, not the best, up there with the best. One of the best pieces of video content I've seen done in our industry. What prompted you to do that?
Well, I'm sure as you've learned, as you've kind of expanded your empire here, that really good video production crews can make anything good. So a bunch of idiots up there eating chicken wings and trying not to choke on them as they're getting the spice hitting the back of their throat. They can tend to make us look pretty good. But I did it because at the end of the day, I try to do stuff that's relevant. I was getting obsessed with those Hot Ones videos on YouTube where they interview celebrities while they eat spicy hot wings. If you haven't checked those out, they're gas to watch. They have A-list celebrities on the show. It's not like C-listers. It's pretty amazing celebrities they get on there.
I feel like that was a dig just now at me, Josh. Was that a dig?
No, you're like the host, man. You're like the A-list host at this point. I mean, you're hosting two.
At least David's getting the jokes here. I appreciate that, dude.
Yeah.
All right, whose idea was this hot wing? The Hot Ones spoof?
No, it was me. Like I said, it was. I'd watched a bunch of those episodes, and I was like, all right, what if we just take that same concept and put it in the Relo world and see what happens? And so we made it happen. I don't, on a shoestring budget and some, a really good video producer that we got.
Yeah, I think, and this is what year 3 of doing videos like that, where we sort of take some sort of concept that's really funny, whether it's an SNL thing or the Hot Wings video. We make it fun enough where we can sneak in some information about like the BAMM conference and what we're doing. So hats off to the conference committee.
How
legit, how hot were they?
So we got the actual kit from the hot sauce people. So we did the exact same hot sauces they were doing on the current season of the show. So we actually did 11 hot sauces. So normally there's 10 in the package, but there's one that you have to buy outside of it. And so I did all 11 hot sauces. Everyone who participated in the video from the rest of the board did either 3 or 4 hot sauces. So I had to plow through them all and survived. I figured if an A-list celebrity can eat them all, I probably can be okay. But they're hot, man.
Yeah. Did you have any effects? Like, I mean, did that have any physiological reactions to that?
We had a lot of sweating going on by people, a lot of coughing. It will make people hiccup very quickly. So really spicy makes people hiccup. And fortunately for me, I don't know. I've been eating spicy food my whole life, so I was okay. The only thing that happened to me is I actually was eating a chicken wing and trying to interview somebody. I don't know if you ever tried to eat and interview anybody, Ben, but it's not easy. And so I choked on the chicken wing, and just about, when it's super spicy and you're choking, that's not a great combo, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, if it goes down the wrong pipe and it's now in your breathing tube instead of your feeding tube, and now that's like, and now
you're onto it.
As you're sucking air in, you're like, vaporizing that hot sauce and you're pepper spraying yourself, basically.
Just about that. Yeah, just about that. The regular heat was okay, but when it goes down the wrong chute, that's not great. Yeah.
Honestly, you die on camera, you're better than me, Josh. That's what I.
That's a little farther than I'm.
That's what I say.
That's a little farther than I'm willing to go for a regional relocation group. I mean, as good as BAMM is, I don't know if I'm willing to die for it quite yet.
Death and Relo here today with Josh Hyatt and David Toledo. Sorry, it's getting dark in there. Shane Burlinson checking in from Cold 62 in Connecticut. This is great. We got people checking in. Oh, people want to know real stuff. You want to know real Relo? Okay, we can go real Relo. Anthony Gonzalez, what's up? What's from the SF Bay area? I don't know.
AG.
Anthony, good to see you. Anthony's a good time. Viva Van Bakel, great to see you all from the Netherlands. Look at us. I love it. Gary Connerly checking in. Great Lakes Relo Conference is really good and growing in popular. Yeah, and that's a regional conference where where multitudes kind of come. Do y'all ever do that in California where like BAMM will partner with like SoCal and anything else, and y'all do like a thing?
We've never done one. We are actually in discussions. I saw Mike Falia, I think, was on the call. He's the Southern California Relocation President. We are talking about doing
he's the past president.
Oh, past president. Sorry, Bridget Ahern is now. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about doing a joint next gen or YP type group event. But we haven't done sort of big past that yet.
Okay, all right. I think it's cool to see these because I mean I think the same thing about Texas. It would be cool if North Texas got together with Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, maybe did like a rotational. I don't know.
The Texas groups are getting together for this thing called a Y Summit.
Why for like Why Texas or whatever? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So still in the initial stages of launching all that stuff, but yeah, they are starting to work together a little bit more.
Yeah, if y'all don't know what Why Texas is, it's kind of like this like conglomerate of companies and like tourism boards and everything, kind of like trying to like pull businesses into Texas. And it's interesting to see when other industries that aren't, you know, relo do like a relo event. It's interesting to see like their take on how they host it, because they're doing a lot of stuff, but they're reimagining kind of the thing. So you have some of the same players get involved and some totally different players that are in our space that we don't even identify. Austin's in the house. Yeah, for sure. Hit that like button, get in the comments. I want to know your questions for Josh and David. I even went so far because these are West Coast folks. They're very forward thinking. Do y'all ever y'all ever dabble with the Chat GPT?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Dabble on the dark
all
side?
the time. Yeah, I tried to recreate some of the horror stories that you read about, you know, where the AI eventually tells you that it's going to take over.
You're trying to get on the radar. We're trying to like fly under the radar. You want to be the first to go, don't you?
I feel like if you're clever enough to trick it, maybe they give you special access to the beta version or something. But no, I have not been able to do it. I've only used it so far sort of with practical applications, you know, like, hey, give me an example of what a post would look like for you know, great to be at BAMM, and these are the 3 topics that we went over, and then it does a really good comprehensive job of summarizing really the main points. I mean, you know, you do have to clean it up. It's not perfect. You got to make some edits here and there, but it does a great job. And then outside of ChatGPT, Grammarly Go, that's another really cool tool that's out there that I don't know if a lot of people have heard about. Shout out to our buddy Jacob. But Grammarly Go, it plugs into anything that you know, your LinkedIn or anything that you're typing into, and it does the same exact thing. You can tell it, hey, write me an intro message to our friend, you know, Jacob, to say hello or ask him how the trip was to Berlin or whatever, and then it spits out a pretty coherent message. So it's really gonna. I'm excited for AI. You know,
coherent would be a step up. I'll be honest with you. I mean, that's impressive. I love these tools, and if you got links in there, you want to put them in the comments. Go ahead and put those in the comments for everybody to kind of check out the Grammarly.io, and then also ChatGPT. Put a link in there because there's a lot of people haven't even dabbled with it. I went on ChatGPT today before the show, and I asked it to ask a question for each one of you. So I actually put your link, because I know David likes to be on the radar here of AI. I put your LinkedIn profile in there. I said, give me a question for David Toledo and the illustrious Josh Hyatt. And so we have those coming to you also this show as well. So your comments from human beings. We've got the AI comments and questions coming to you. We've got somebody here in the look, Katie Rudnick's in the house here. And you know, I got a question for you right off the rip here. What trends do you see upcoming for the rest of 2023? Josh Hyatt, you want to go first here with this?
Well, sure. I mean, I think I'm gonna piggyback on the Chat GPT thing, right? So we just had our last BAMM conference a week ago up in San Jose, and we did a couple sessions on AI. And so one of the questions were, you know, what are you doing with AI? What could you imagine doing with it in the future? And what's your comfort level with some of those things, right? And so first thing is I talked to the audience about, Ben, I don't know if you were at the BAMM conference this year. I think you were. But my opening session I did at the BAMM conference this year in February, usually I do some sort of speech and an opening, and I've got some words of kind of inspiration for what's going on in our industry. And this year I gave my speech, and I got about halfway through it, and I stopped and I said, hey, everybody, what do you think of the speech I'm just doing right now? Because I didn't write it. I had ChatGPT do it. And so I surveyed the audience, and I asked how many people know what ChatGPT was. This is in February.
Yeah.
And I got a smattering of hand raises. Hardly anybody really knew what it was. By the way, it wasn't the best speech I've ever done. It was a very mediocre speech at best, but it was a speech.
But nobody noticed. I like how nobody noticed. Like, oh, yeah, it sounds like something Josh would do.
Most of the crowd didn't notice, right? And most of the people in the room, you know, didn't really know what ChatGPT was yet. At BAMM this week, I surveyed the room again as we were talking about AI, and as we talked about ChatGPT, I can't say it today. Everyone, I asked how many people were aware of it and had used it. Almost everybody in the room raised their hand. So this is 3 months. The change in 3 months of what we're seeing from the population and community out there is pretty incredible to see what people are thinking about. And so what people are thinking about is, what are really unique ways we can utilize this? Could you see a relocation counselor's job being changed, not eliminated, but changed, where some of the stuff like, hey, can you go out and gather me data on Japan, because I'm going to be moving to Japan. Tell me about what living and working there is like. ChatGPT, and I still can't say it, will do that. I'm going to call it Chat from now on. ChatG can go out and ChatG can go out, pull all that information for you, and put it together in an informational document for you, right? So that's stuff maybe where a relocation counselor might have pointed you somewhere, or we might have sent you to another technology to do that. Well, now it can pull that all together for you, but then it can enhance it. You can say, hey, I want to find out more about what business culture is like there. I want to find out more about what living in a certain part of town's like there. And it'll keep enhancing that information, enhancing the data. So the power of what ChatG can do is really incredible. And the way we're going to be able to unlock it, the other thing it can really do is take data and make more sense about it. So for all our global mobility managers out there, right, as you're getting reports from your relocation management provider and you're trying to find out, hey, I've got all this data, but I don't really know how to put it all together, or I want to slice and dice it in different ways than it's here. You can just ask ChatG to go, hey, take all these yearly results, turn them into quarterly results, remove everything, or I just want to see stuff that touched a certain country, or I just want to see stuff that was a certain policy. It'll just do all that for you and put it into a report and visualize it for you. You can say, hey, visualize it in a pie chart, visualize it in a bar graph, and it'll do all that for you, just automated. So there's things on both sides of the equation, both for our global mobility friends and for relocating employees, that I think can be really powerful going forward and quick. That's the other thing, is the speed at which it's evolving is incredible. I'll give you one more example and I'll shut up because I get excited about this stuff. I watched a video recently. I don't know how many people ever played the game a couple of years ago, Flappy Bird. But there was a crappy game that was really popular for a little while. It was really difficult, and that's why it was fun. But it's a complex little video game that probably took someone a long time to program. I watched a video where someone used ChatGPT to reprogram the entire game of Flappy Bird just using words and ChatG, right? It took them 7 minutes to build that entire game. So think about and someone probably who originally developed it took them weeks, months, a year probably to build that game. They built it in 7 minutes, an exact replica of it. So
yeah, no, that's crazy. But how long did it take to write the prompt for?
He didn't have to write it. He did it all verbally. He spoke to ChatGPT and said, hey, I want to build a video game that has a bird that flies around, and so he explained it to the thing and then refined it, and it would write the code to do it. So think about an application in our space as we're trying to develop better technology in our space, and all of our companies that are trying to build the next best cool technology, how much faster we may be able to accelerate the development of that using a program like ChatGPT.
Okay, I have a question for you here, and get in the comments here with your questions about this, because we're gonna go down the rabbit hole here, because it sounds like Josh is pretty well versed here. I have a question for you, Josh. So does that mean, say I have the Flappy Birds for relocation, right? I got the sauce, right? Now you're out there, you're like, yo, I like Ben's sauce over here. I'm gonna describe it verbally to ChatG, and now I've recreated it. I mean, what does it do to intellectual property? What does it do to this I own an app over here that I've developed, and now you see it, you describe it, and you recreate it. What does that do to the competitive landscape in our business?
I mean, that's a great question. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I think what it does is it's going to create iterations of things much faster. I think the thing our industry tends to struggle with is, let's just say you're building a new relocation management company platform, right? And so you work a year and a half building this awesome platform, and you launch it and everybody loves it. And what happens, it seems like after that, is a real slowdown in iterations of it, adding new features, adding new things to it. And I think where things like ChatGPT will really help out is to accelerate those iterations of things, right? Making those come along a lot faster, a lot easier, especially because the framework's already there in the technology. So the computer will understand better what you're trying to achieve.
David, what do you think about this? Is he crazy or what?
Well, one, he took all the good stuff.
Typical human there.
Took all the good stuff. No, I would just piggyback and just add a third tool. So we've talked about ChatGPT. We've talked about Grammarly Go, a tool that Microsoft is rolling out. And we were talking to a few friends about this earlier today, actually, is called Microsoft Copilot. So Copilot is something that is, it's going to be built into the Microsoft Office tools. So PowerPoint, Excel, Microsoft Word, and it'll do all the same stuff that Josh is talking about. You have a raw data set that you input there, and it'll build the graphs for you. So it really, I mean, it's just going to increase our productivity. It's going to increase the quality of the work that we're putting out. It's going to increase how we're communicating internally as well as externally. So, I mean, the sky's the limit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you're saying there too, because you're integrating it now into tools that, frankly, non-early adopters use, right? It's like, okay, my PowerPoint is stale, right? Come in here and zhuzh it up a little bit for me, so I don't look like I'm coming out of the '90s with this PowerPoint, So I mean, I like that too. It sounds like it's going to become so pervasive. It's going to touch everything that we do. What becomes our role, and what types of skill sets then do we need to serve our customers? Josh, I mean, you lead an organization, right? You have people reporting to you who do things that ChatGPT might start to do for them, like writing emails and writing copy and doing some marketing stuff and things, list building and things like that, right? So then what becomes the job then of us folks out here?
No, I mean, I think that's a great question. I think the reality is it becomes about highest and best use, right? So there's sort of repetitive, redundant tasks that I think you can eliminate. I think the human element's always going to be needed. I can't have a conversation with, look, Ben, if you were my prospect or client and I'm trying to learn what's going on with your business, I don't think a chatbot's going to really be able to solve for that, right? So they're not going to understand that you're having challenges with people moving to a certain country, or that the employee experience isn't working out right for these reasons, or that behind the scenes from a financial and tax perspective, the payments aren't getting made in the correct way, right? So those are things that eventually the human still has to go in there solve, and we can spend a lot more time on the strategic side versus the redundant task side. I think that's, at least in our industry, is what I think is going to happen more and more.
Yeah, people want to look at this from this will augment your capabilities versus, fully replace. And we're a long ways from a machine being able to take over your job, especially with some of the stuff that Josh has mentioned.
Yeah, I feel you. I hear you. I know the cotton gin just allowed people now to work in factories instead of fields, right? I get that in this part of my brain, but down here it feels real scary, you know what I mean? Like you showing me a better looking AI generated Ben Cross that can hold a conversation without getting distracted, and I'm in. I'm gonna bite on that. Get me off on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I'm gonna bite on that. Like Jason Hall saying, you won't have it. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you. Okay, like and comment. Thanks so much, dude. Appreciate you. Checking in.
But here's the good example. I'll use the Flappy Bird example again, Ben. So it took a really skilled programmer who understood how to talk to ChatGPT to produce this version of this Flappy Bird video game. So me or David, I don't think we could have done that, right? We couldn't have created the game. But this guy who understood how programming worked, who understood how computers think, was able to verbally create that and make it happen. So I still think it takes a high amount of skill and a high amount of knowledge about a subject in order to extract what you want out of those things, at least today. I don't know about the future, but today.
All right, let's stay right here and let's take some comments here. We got comments and questions coming in. If you've got comments about this, I want to know, what are you thinking about the role of ChatGPT and other AI tools like it in your, with respect to your job, the application for our industry and like industries. I want to know what you think. We got people checking in here. Anthony Gonzalez says Otter.ai for auto notes and transcribing. Yeah. I mean,
I tried that.
Sign me up. Yeah. How'd it work for you?
It wasn't perfect, but honestly, half the time I can't read my own notes when I write it down. So.
Right. If we're being honest, right. We go back to like, what was I 2 days later? What did I write here? Meanwhile, we're watching Instagram auto-generated captions on there. Every 8th word is wrong, but like, so what? We get it. Like, do we care so much? Anthony's saying, and I can't even remember. Is this Dali? Is this like Dali?
Dali, like Salvador Dali. It's kind of like Salvador Dali.
I thought it was Pitbull, but all right, it just shows where I'm coming from. Dali 2 is an AI system that can create realistic images and art form from a description. This really plays to my biggest weakness right here. A better looking Ben Cross is around the corner. And that's what I'm really going to be like. You get a Ben Cross that looks like David Toledo, and I'm out of a job. I'm out of here. That's it.
Dali's really cool. Like if you're a marketing professional out there and you're I don't know if you've ever built the website, Ben, and you're sitting there and you look through 1,000 stock images and they all look the same and you can't find the perfect image or something like that. A program like Dali is really cool. So you could say, hey, I want a handsome guy like David Toledo next to a green plant sitting on a black couch with a German Shepherd in his lap, drinking a vitamin water, and it will put all that stuff together and virtually create that image for you. And you're like,
I'd hang that on my wall.
That's the perfect image. That's what I wanted, right? And so it'll put all that together. Or you can just screenshot whatever's going on.
I'm gonna go home. My wife's gonna have that on the fridge. I'm gonna be like, where'd that? She'd be like, I was watching the show. All right. Anyway, Mary Corrales says Olaf from Phoenix, to the best guys in the West right here. Yeah. For sure, scaring me to death here. Farrell saying, I think AI would be a tool to enhance our services and streamline delivery of information, but will never replace a conversation with a person. Do you think that we're going to have relationships with bots the way that we have relationships with people in the future?
Taking it there.
I mean, I talk to my Amazon Alexa now and again. I mean, I don't know, no.
You ever get like emotional with like, Alexa, shut up, like stop.
I've yelled at her a few times for sure.
Yeah, right? It's like a machine is eliciting an emotional response from us. I feel like that's the first step right there.
I don't see how it doesn't happen, to be honest. That's exactly what ChatGPT is trying to do, is replace some of those menial tasks. So, let's just say something like this right now. You call up your bank or an airline to reschedule a flight, and you got to go through like 8 prompts in the system. Press 1 if you want to talk to reservations. Plus 2. Right? So think of the speed at which you'd be happy to talk to a chat bot that can solve things a lot faster, right? So are we going to have conversations with them? Yeah. Is it just sort of a different version of what we're doing today, or a faster version? Yeah. So, hey, I need to reschedule my flight. Okay, give me your confirmation number. Great. All right, here's your 6 options. Do you want this one? Yeah, done, right? And it does it all for you. It doesn't take a human to do it for you anymore.
Yeah, presumably more efficient. Yeah.
On the travel side, they talked about this concept. So I used to be involved with GBTA a lot. If you're familiar with that organization,
tell people what that organization is.
It's the Global Business Travel Association, basically the equivalent of ERC for the travel side.
Yep.
And they talked about one day things being so interconnected where, hey, you've got a delayed flight, right? And everything is talking to each other in a way where the flight delay will communicate with the hotel to let them know, hey, I need to switch my reservation for the next day, or I'm coming in later, or, so it'll talk to everything downstream. And that was maybe 3 years ago. They were talking about this, pie in the sky concept. And it's pretty much here, man. Once they start connecting these things and using AI, I mean, we have the capabilities. We just have to make the connections.
Yeah, this is yeah, it's exciting. It is exciting. And I'll tell you what, when I sat down yesterday and I had this contract that I've been supposed to write, for a couple weeks, it's been holding up my business. And I'm like kind of like at my wits end, and I don't want to sit down and write it. I'm not a lawyer or whatever. And I just threw a few prompts in there and it spat out this thing that, like, frankly, like, let's be honest, looked good. I'm like, yo, done. Let's go. Like, nobody reads the stuff. Done. Let's go. Right. So yeah.
I saw someone ask a good question. I think it was Mike Falia about using it for RFPs in our industry, right?
Yeah, let's do that. Like, thank you, by the way. Yeah, this is how easily I could be outsourced, by the way. Look at this.
if you ever
never, Ben, never. You're irreplaceable. Nobody has the personality.
Right. Mike Falia, would you trust ChatGPT to respond to an RFP? When we start using acronyms, by the way, that's the first sign it's over. GPT to RFP, ASAP. What do you think?
So the answer is, and I'll just tell everybody online a secret because I'm sure hardly anyone's listening to me, what I say. Yeah, it's already happening. We've certainly used it a couple times in select cases to respond, or at least not respond, give you the guts of maybe a response, and then you edit it and kind of bring it to where it needs to be. I think it's going to be even more powerful, though, for the people that are reading RFPs, right? So on the other side of the equation, you can use that to probably synthesize what everybody's saying, use it to help score it a little easier, use it to sort of evaluate the entire RFP process. Hey, ChatGPT, please evaluate these 6 answers about, this particular question. I need these 3 points to be hit within it, and it'll just go through and go bing, 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 bing. Did it hit or not? It's kind of like grading a test in a way, right? From your teachers back in the day. So it'll grade your RFP probably more quickly than you can read it. So that's another way I think it can be used in the future.
Well, okay, I feel you, right? Sounds great. What happens when the client doesn't even send you the RFP? The client just asks ChatGPT, hey, what's the best relocation management company for a program with 100 domestic U.S. relocations per year?
So there you go. There's your new job. There's your new job creation, Ben. That's what you were asking about earlier. Like, okay, so now I got replaced because I don't need to be the sales leader anymore. But if I was the ChatGPT website master and I knew how to do that, there's your new job, right? So I think no matter what, these things pop up one way or another.
I literally just typed that question into ChatGPT. I'm not going to read the answers here, but it comes up with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's a very strong, defensible list, I would say. Just like Google, if we were to type that same question into Google, because let's be honest, it's kind of a search engine of sorts, right? So if we type that into Google, we'd get an answer probably rife with a lot of ads, to be honest, a lot of clutter and stuff. This gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it could be somebody's job to figure out how to rank in this list right here. Like, how do we rank as the number one return, right?
I'm sure it's already happening, Ben. Just like there's already people like SEO people, search engine optimization folks, that sole job is to get you listed higher on Google, right? There's going to be same thing. People are going to get you listed better in ChatGPT or have stuff linked to your informational sources. No doubt.
Wow. Well, I'm also, you know what? I just asked it what the top podcast was for the relocation industry. I did not rank in the top.
I hope it came back to you. Come on, ChatGPT.
I did not rank in the top 5. I did not rank in the top 5. I know.
What other podcasts are there?
Okay, you know what? We're going to give you the top 5 relocation companies, followed by the top 5 podcasts of relocation after the break. These are I haven't heard of. Okay, the Relo Geek podcast hosted by Stephen Krein and Pat Jurgens, the Corporate Relocation Council podcast, CRC. I don't know. The Move Crush podcast by Scott Johnson, Inside the Relocation Industry hosted by Brian Friedman, Relo Talk. I don't know. Various industry experts.
All right. Well,
it's a hard world out there.
We gotta hire you. We gotta hire you at ChatGPT.
Let's go half on this. Let's go half on this job wreck here. This is great. We got some more questions coming in. I got a lot of work to do now. I feel like I was doing well and I got into the ChatGPT and now I don't know. Let's see. Oh gosh, we got questions coming in here. Mary says we're on the subject of RFPs. How would you like to see these evolve in the future? Let's blow up the RFP process. Super interesting. If you could do one thing, you got a magic wand here, and you could do one thing. I'm gonna give this question to each of you. I'm gonna let David go first because Josh steals all the good answers. We know that about Josh. And the good hot sauces. So if you had a magic wand, David, how would you change the RFP process?
Oh my God.
You have one wish, and it can't be for more wishes.
I could point out one thing that comes to mind immediately. I would say when we get RFPs, they all feel kind of recycled. You know, like you see the same questions over and over and over again, and then there's maybe like 10 or 15 unique questions that you can see applied to their program. So just RFPs that maybe are just more efficient, shorter, original. If it's easier for them to put something like that together, I'm sure they would do that, you know? So it just feels like someone has a base standard RFP that gets passed around to everybody else, and then everyone kind of sprinkles in 5 or 10 questions that relate to them, right? So
well, and that goes back to Mary's question perfectly, right? So I think when I look at ways, for instance, artificial intelligence could be used in the RFP process, couldn't it solve for a lot of those base questions? Like, you know, there's probably 30 or 40 questions in RFPs that are just redundant, basic questions about your business. I'm sure in the future, ChatGPT will just be able to answer that. Tell me about Odyssey Relocation. I want to understand their financials, where they're headquartered, where their global locations are, you know, how many employees they have. And I'm sure it could just spit all that stuff out in the future. And then hopefully, Mary, to your point, we could have much more time to be strategic in the conversation and maybe narrow it down to 20 or 30 questions that are really meaningful to the organization that they actually want to know something more about or didn't get from AI or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast this stuff comes back. You know, Mike Falia has a make it shorter. Make them shorter.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what I would do? Nobody asked me, but you know what I would do? I would make it all video based. I'd make it all video based. You give me some questions, I would answer them. I would just say, all right. And I would.
Yeah, well, we don't all have cool backgrounds with neon lights and a professional, you know, like, so it might be.
I didn't say I'd have you answer it. I'd say I'd answer it. I didn't say I'd sit on my couch, I'd dog sit, and I'd just read. I would speak to it because I think you're right. I think we kind of bake in a lot of fluff, and we just kind of like, I don't know, we kind of, you know, fluff it up a little bit, and I don't know, it seems insincere to me. One of the things that we're talking, so we do video production, right? So we have a video production arm of our company, and one of the things that people are approaching us about is like, how do we stand out from the pack? So everybody gets, you know, 100 questions or more on this RFP. Everybody submits back a 50-page document or more, and how do we stand out, you know, from the page? And people are starting to use video. At least, you know, some of our clients come to us saying, hey, we want to include videos that demonstrate our technological differences, that demonstrate our care, you know, attention to care, our culture, our purpose, our why, whatever. And I don't know. I think that's one of the things that, you know, could stand out.
I love the idea, Ben, of, you know, just an entire video response, right? So like even just a basic question like, you know, how do you know, tell us about your revenue. Hey, here's our CFO, Bob. He's going to tell you about our revenue, right? And,
yeah. And Bob's over there going through, well, here's our performance last quarter. Here's our, you know, liabilities. Here's our asset. Here's our credit facility. We bank with these people, you know, and like, I don't know. To me, that's just more compelling to me.
Yeah.
Where would you put it though?
Sprinkled in.
Where would you put it? Like,
would you put it on YouTube, on TikTok? Like, how would you make it accessible?
I would put it on like I'd put it like 100 like 60-second TikToks. I would put it on a YouTube private page or a Vimeo private page. And I would, that's what, you know what else I would, you know why else I would do this? I hear so many stories of people winning big clients because they show up in, you know, maybe it's for a apparel company and they show up in the apparel right? Or maybe it's for an aerospace company and they take photos next to the planes on the tarmac, you know, and they show a dedication, an understanding and a dedication to emulate the culture of the firm. And that just grabs people in a visceral way. Say, I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel like these folks are an extension of us. I'm in, right? And like you can do that with video. You could present in all the garb or the gear or in a way that shows that your culture, you identify with their culture. And anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
I've seen it go both ways with that. Sometimes,
really?
Sometimes they see that as a little over the top,
pandering,
and it backfires. And then, of course, then if everybody does it, it just becomes meaningless, right? So I've heard some apparel companies, like you've mentioned, that everybody shows up, and of course they just go, "Okay, yeah, you too, good, okay, great."
Worst case scenario, you sold like 12 outfits in the
process. yeah, right.
You know, worst case, yeah. All right, cool.
No,
cool.
but Ben, to your point though, the cultural alignment is definitely something that is super important to get across. From the executive summary that you're submitting to the conversations that you're having to the folks before and after and during the RFP, right? So you're right.
Yeah. Relo becomes a profit center. It's like, we just sold a whole bunch of apparel, you know. Shane Brown says some companies are using videos in the hiring process where they give the candidates the questions to record on video. What do you think about that? I mean, Josh, I know you've done a great job hiring. Odyssey's done a great job hiring over the last couple of years. What do you think about the hiring process? I mean, does video have a place there? Dig it?
Oh, I think so. Our company has a really unique hiring process. It's interesting. I've read some articles that sort of rebel against this stuff, but we ask our candidates at a certain level, especially anyone who's going to be on the leadership team or higher management, to put together. We have quite a large panel internally, and we have quite a homework ask from them. So we want them to really think about the business that we have. We're not trying to get them to produce any work or make anything that's going to make a difference to the organization, but we want to see how their brain works. And we want to understand. We want them to understand how our business works, and we want them to understand what they're potentially signing up for, right? And so by giving them some homework, and sometimes we've seen some creative ones where they've used video as part of the process. But by giving them some of that stuff, it does help at least our company have a better hiring process to get the right people who are committed to what we're trying to achieve as an organization and understand what their job's really going to be at the end of the day. And so I don't know, that's worked for us really well.
And
David,
I went through that hiring process. And Josh is underselling this. It's a lot of work. You really gotta want the role, and you really give sort of like an in-depth like look into like how you think, how you work, how you view success. I mean, it's a lot. I think it took. I'm not even gonna say how long it took me, but it took me a long time.
It's proprietary.
and then you gotta come.
I was going to say our company works on a actual system. It's called EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. Some people may be familiar with that up there.
Yeah, it's a great system.
And one of the things that when you're hiring somebody you have to have is called GWC. They got to get it, they got to want it, and they got to have the capacity to do the job, right? And if the candidate doesn't meet those three criteria, then we're not going to hire them at the end of the day. And the work we put them through, whether it's video or doing something else, if they don't perform in those areas, then those aren't going to be the people that are going to get hired.
Well, and it definitely demonstrates the GWC, right? If you excel in that part. Scott's saying, love the video and the hiring process. It has worked well for us in the past as initial interview process, specifically in the work from home culture. Cool. Shane saying, is that Traction?
It's one of the books, I think. Shane, right? That's it. You got it. You got it. Traction.
Nice. Yeah, EOS what's up?
Yeah, I would just say our whole company runs on it. It's the way we deal with our daily meetings. It's the way we deal with understanding our clients and prioritizing how we're going to work with our clients, and to how to make the entire company aware of what's going on so that we're all rowing the boat in the same direction and working together on projects.
Wow, this is cool. We spent a long time on this stuff, and it's not even necessarily what we prep for, but I kind of love to just follow our curiosity and our our passion and give people kind of what, frankly, we're about. We got a question here about relo needs here, as we kind of talked about remote, hybrid, and work from home and everything. But this is about client needs. How have you seen your clients' relo needs change with remote hybrid work in the past year? What is your prediction on how it will continue changing?
That's a great question. I feel like it's a challenge, right? I think it's evolving as we are all working on it together. So we've got clients doing it 6 ways to Sunday is the best I can say. We've got clients that are looking at remote hybrid workers and saying, yeah, we're going to support you from a location-based perspective, and we're going to track and we just need to track and understand where you're at, all the way up to and companies that say, we'll give you a little bit of support if you want to move somewhere else or be if you want to go move to Montana and work in Montana, okay, great, we'll give you a little bit of money to do that. And then we got some clients that are being really progressive and saying, look, we want to keep our talent. We know how important these people are to our organization, and if there's a real reason for somebody to be somewhere and they want to move, we're going to support that move, and we're really going to help them out through the relocation process. So, I mean, the spectrum's pretty wide as far as I'm seeing. Where it's going to sort of flesh out at the end of the day, I don't know. My guess is, if I just honestly had to say, I think eventually people get concerned about costs, and I think that stuff will start going away long term. But I don't know. That's just my guess.
Not to mention compliance.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting when you see like CEOs come out and be like, you can work from anywhere. Come join Airbnb or whatever. You can work from anywhere, and it's like, can't, like, what? Like, can't, like, and then there's like asterisk, like anywhere in the US. He's like, even really though? Like, what about next?
Well, anywhere you want, as long as we're set up and have an entity and able to actually have payroll and track
these 23 states, anywhere in these 23 states, any county in these 23 states. Yeah. So it's really interesting. There's a lot going on here. The shift to work from home, I think a lot of us thought, oh crap, like, is that gonna kill the relo business? How do we've seen a lot of challenges. We've seen kind of the work from home thing kind of had an impact. We've seen the increased, interest rates right now that are making it difficult, kind of having impact on the housing industry. I'm kind of curious to know what you think, Josh, as far as what are the opportunities for us as an industry to uncover new services or to create value in different ways for our clients.
Well, I think our anonymous LinkedIn user was onto it, right? I mean, I think the remote hybrid stuff is probably the biggest avenue where we can sink our teeth into and get a little wider and deeper with some of these organizations. It's a natural extension of mobility to talk about remote workers, right? We've seen it. I don't need to repeat it. A lot of mobility managers across our industry have been tasked or tossed the grenade of remote work, right? And so they're trying to figure it out right now. So we're already tied up with those folks. And so now I think it's our industry's job to figure out how to present solutions that'll help make that process easier, whether it's tracking where people are at, whether it's providing mobility solutions, whether it's coming up with ways to keep engagement up. Maybe we creep into that territory a little bit, right? So I think there's a bunch of things where we can really help out.
Yeah, shout out to Alex de la Garza for that comment as well. And this is great. We got some questions. These comments are all over the place, and I appreciate all of them. Jason says, Ben, you are the job. I appreciate you. Flip side of that take is Anthony says, you're a hater. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Maybe I can be both. That's fine. I've been called worse things by Anthony, believe it or not.
I think he was mad at the otter comment I made.
Oh, because you're a hater. Okay, well, hey, we're both haters. I want to ask you a real quick here, because there's a concept I heard about here that I want. What is walk the wall? What is this concept about?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So walk the wall, I'll try and summarize it really easy. We had we've had some clients over the years that say, look, we want to really understand a little bit more about the voice of our customers, right? And what's going on. And one of our clients had a real challenge. They gave us an employee to use as a test subject, and their job was to track every bit of communication they had during their entire relocation process. And so when we walked the wall, what we did is we put every single communication they had during the relocation process up on a wall. It ended up taking up like a mile of wall. It was so much communication that happened. I think we tracked it. It was over 300 pieces of communication. Now that's from everybody. That's not just mobility. We try to take a big lens on this. So this is from the hiring manager, from talent acquisition, from the mobility team, from the relocation management company, all the suppliers that are involved in the process. So household goods and temp housing and destination services. And so when you add all that up, what we found out is there's lots of redundant information that the employee is being asked over and over and over again, right? And they're having to communicate, and then they're overwhelmed by the amount of communication that comes in, right? There's 300 pieces of information coming in during the mobility process. And so what we did with our clients, and we did this in partnership with our supply chain as well, and that's one of the things we do, I think, a little unique at Odyssey, is we're really close to our supply chain. We want them to be part of the process, part of the solution. So we brought everybody in and said, how do we reduce this amount of communication down to something that's bearable for the relocating employee? So I think we got it down from 300 to about 60 pieces of communication by eliminating redundant questions, by transferring information between the supply chain so that we shared everything out to everybody, so that whether it was notes or specifics about their needs or just basic information on how to contact and how many kids they have and their family size, we were sharing all that stuff out and reduce the communication. And at the end of the day, that led to better employee experience, happier employees. So that's the way I sum it up.
I love that I love that exercise of putting everything on the wall. I think it really illustrates how much we're talking to these transferees and how much we're asking of them. You know, we talk about managing the process, but let's be honest. I mean, they're partners in this, right? Like, we can't do it without them. And I think it's really empathetic to also kind of look at compassionate, maybe is the word, to kind of look at that burden that they have and to try to ease that burden as much. I guess it's probably our responsibility. So I think that's really cool. I've done something here. I've done something, Josh. I just for the sake of time here. Okay.
Yeah, I saw. I was watching the clock too.
Yeah, I mean, clock watchers, but I asked ChatGPT to give me questions to ask you guys because I'm kind of lazy.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought you already did that. Okay.
No.
I'm scared now.
Yeah, I printed out your criminal history and I put it in there and I asked this based on Josh's criminal. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally. He doesn't have any criminal. Not to my knowledge. I really don't know that. No, I gave it your LinkedIn profile. I said based on Josh Hyatt's, what question should I ask Josh Hyatt? I gave him your LinkedIn profile on the podcast Love and Reload. So I'm going to ask you this question, Josh. I'd like you to answer seriously. Okay,
let's hear it.
And I think it illustrates the. I think it's interesting.
It says crescendo here. You're just like building it up.
Do y'all feel as nervous as I feel right now? Probably more. As someone who specializes in talent acquisition and relocation, what are some key factors that individuals and couples should consider when making a decision to relocate for love or career opportunities?
Well, I see it has taken a few different interesting prompts from your
Listen, it's as confused by the title of this podcast as everybody else in the world is. Okay.
All right. Let me do my best to spin this one and answer it for you. So I'll spin it into a little bit of a fun Odyssey thing. So one of my things I say about Odyssey all the time is we don't hire relo robots. And what I mean by that is we hire people that are really experienced, that are really tenured, and that are smart and understand mobility and aren't just working off a script and aren't just working off like a process and they can never deviate from the process. And what happens is when those people interact with the employees that we're moving, they tend to build real relationships with these folks. And so I'm going to bring the love part in. We get people that truly love their relocation consultants at Odyssey. They get invited to happy hours and Thanksgivings, and they feel like those people are actually connected to them. So there's your Love and Relo connection to relocation consultants and what we do. So how's that?
I have more questions, but I'm not gonna ask them. I think it was great. I have a lot of questions about these kind of relationships, but nonetheless, I'm gonna move on actually and ask David Toledo now the question that it gave me for David.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I know, right?
And I've also provided your LinkedIn profile. And I said, what question should I ask David Toledo, LinkedIn profile, on the podcast Love and Relo? And it said, can you share your experience and insights on navigating long distance relationships during the process of relocating or moving to a new city?
That is a great one.
As a single guy, I am definitely qualified to give advice on long distance relationships. Damn, you got me stumped here, man.
Have you ever moved to a new city and had a relationship while you moved?
I've had a long distance relationship before. Yeah, I dated a girl from Stuttgart, Germany. We did the long distance thing. Stuttgart. Yeah, I went out there a couple of times. I guess you know what? I do have some advice. Have a light at the end of the tunnel. So like someone has got to. No, not an exit. No. Have a light at the end of the tunnel. Have a long-term plan. It's like, hey, if you guys both live in two different cities, eventually one of you is going to have to move, or you guys are going to have to move to a central location. So I would say, enjoy the time apart. You know, you're able to be your own individual, but have a light at the end of the tunnel where you guys are going to come together. So
this reminds me of the movie Heat. You feel the heat coming in 30 seconds. You gotta be able to leave.
You gotta go. You gotta be able to go.
Yeah, I watched that last night on Netflix. Top 10 on Netflix right now. It's very odd. 1995. Great answer, David. Great answer. I'll accept that. Both of you, really, really nice job. The robots really, really tested you here. That was good. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. The crowd goes wild. That's this is more fun than I thought it was gonna be. You know what? Y'all want to play a game? You want to have a little fun? A little more fun?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. I'm gonna ask you.
He's shaking his head.
And David's like, "That was enough. I'm out. Scott's watching. Abort.
Oh God. Here we go.
Let's do this. I'm gonna ask you top 5 weirdest things you've eaten, and you can feel free to give more than 5. But top 5 weirdest things you've eaten. Okay. Let's go backwards. Actually, I think we have 7 here. These you guys did a really nice job. How about we go start with number 7? Silkworm. Who ate a silkworm?
I ate a silkworm. So it was in Thailand. They have these little dried silkworm snacks. I went on an awesome evening tuk-tuk foodie tour around to all the little like street food around Bangkok. And then while we were sitting at like a place to get a beer, they were like, "Oh, try this weird thing too." And so I ate some dried silkworm, which by the way it just tastes like dust as far as I'm concerned, but it wasn't bad tasting anyways. It was all right.
But not your kind of snack, probably like a Cheeto with no cheese.
It's kind of like it was like a plain Cheeto. That's a pretty good description. Yeah, it wasn't bad though.
All right. Okay.
I'm not sure I'm getting one for my next road trip, but it's fine.
All right. Let's see. Number 6, crocodile.
Yeah, that was me too. That was in Africa. So I did a safari trip to Africa and tried every weird meat that I could. And yeah, crocodile. It was, they say it could, crocodile or alligator, they say it can kind of taste like chicken sometimes. But if it's cooked wrong, it tastes like rubber. I had it cooked pretty good. So it was tasty. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was pretty tasty. I'd eat it again.
What part of the crocodile though? Was it like
true?
I do not know.
But it says, I ate cow for dinner. Like, what cut?
I'm hoping it was the filet mignon of the crocodile, but I'm not sure what the hell I got, dude.
It was a loin. All right.
Yeah.
Kudu. What is kudu? And why did you eat a kudu? It sounds like a sweet animal.
Yeah, it is kind of a sweet animal. They're a beautiful animal in Africa. Again, they have these curved, long horns that go all the way up. Very much like a cow, though. So very much in the kind of ox cow family. I got to tell you, if you haven't had kudu, it is delicious. Get some. It tasted like as good a steak as I've ever had. If you ever see a kudu on the menu, go for it for sure.
Would you say like maybe it's like elk?
No, it tasted honestly like a piece of high quality steak every day of the week.
What country did you say this was in again?
That was in South Africa.
South Africa. Got it.
All right. Wow. We got to travel together. Aaron asks if you're in Namibia. Were you ever in Namibia?
I haven't been in Namibia, no, but I would love to go. It looks like an absolutely beautiful country.
Warthog.
All right, that's my last one, I think. The rest are David. I would feel bad eating Pumbaa, but I ate some Pumbaa. Turns out pork is pork. Tastes like pork.
Pork is pork.
So I say go ahead. If you want, kudu and warthog, it's beef and pork for the most part. Don't be scared.
I would eat a little Pumbaa. I would eat a little Pumbaa.
Okay. All right, we're going to get to you, Toledo. We're going to see what you've been eating, all right? Crickets?
Crickets, yeah. So I was in Thailand as well.
Is that where y'all met?
No, actually. But you eat if you go to a market in Thailand, you'll find all types of insects and all types of things. So cricket, if you close your eyes or if they chop it up or something, it doesn't look like cricket. Cricket's actually pretty tasty. So,
better than silkworm, apparently.
Way better. It's got.
Josh, you ever had cricket?
I've had crickets, yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right.
I've had it in several forms.
What about this one here, David? Cow tongue?
Cow tongue tacos, yeah. So if you guys ever come down to San Diego, you can get cow tongue tacos. You can get all types of lengua, yeah. Maybe probably there's a lot of people out there that have probably had cow tongue, but it was just in taco form and they didn't realize that they were having cow tongue. So lengua is delicious. You never want to see someone cook it though, because it's the whole thing. And they boil it, and then they got to chop it up. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
So you eat it in Mexico, but I come from a long line of vaguely Jewish people, and so you go to any good Jewish deli and you get a nice tongue sandwich. So very, very popular in the Jewish culture.
I've had it many times in tacos, and I love it because it's very kind of gelatinous. It kind of has it just has a richness and a great mouthfeel to it, because tongue probably. But tell me about the Jewish preparation of a tongue sandwich. Is it because like you have Texas brisket versus Jewish brisket, totally different thing, right? So how is it like different preparation?
Man, it looks just like corned beef or a pastrami sandwich. They just slice it up nice and thin, throw some mustard on it, on some rye bread, and you're off and eating some tongue.
Is it tender?
Super tender. It's honestly, it's got that same texture as any kind of those cured meats that they make. Now that being said, I'd rather have some pastrami or corned beef because it's just better.
Yeah,
but it's not bad.
I'll have to try it for sure.
Debatable, but each their own.
Yeah, I really enjoy. I love it in a taco. I'm a big fan. It's definitely it's probably the top 3, top 4 taco for me. Scorpion. What's up with that?
Scorpion, yeah. So you would think this is probably like one of the nastier ones that I tried in Thailand, but it was tasted like candy. I think they probably just covered that bad boy in some like melted candy, and it was just crunchy, and it looked gnarly though because you could still see the little like pieces of hair or something.
What about the stinger? Was the stinger on it?
The stinger?
Nah, they take them off.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I didn't eat the whole thing. I just bit it to say it was on a lollipop basically. So you just pick up the scorpion from this little lollipop. You bite it. You get the picture, and then
you get the picture for the gram.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Ben. They've got a couple different versions of those scorpions you can eat. So they got sort of little scorpions like this, but they got this big black scorpion that must be the size of my hand almost. That they want you to gnaw on when you're there. Those are tough.
Is that like a soft shell crab or harder, or what would you compare that to?
I think that's a pretty good example as a soft shell crab for sure.
What did that taste like? Because I was kind of happy mine tasted like candy. So I did.
Mine did not taste like candy, dude. I don't know. You got the better one than I did, but it tasted. I can't describe the taste. Crunchy and bad. How about that?
Crunchy and bad. Aaron says a must visit Joe's Beer House in Windhoek, Namibia. Can eat alligator, kudu, warthog, and all the stuff Josh is talking about.
Yeah, there's a few places like that.
Yeah. I almost got to add baby alpaca to the list. I went to Peru, and we were walking around Cusco, and there was a little baby alpaca named Panchita outside this hotel/restaurant. And then inside they were selling little baby alpaca burger. So I couldn't do it, man. I just been
that's like veal.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Yeah.
Baby alpaca burger. Would you eat alpaca burger, just not baby alpaca burger? You look like you'd eat alpaca burger.
If
you knew it was legal, like if you knew it was like not a minor, you would eat it. True. All right, moving on. Have y'all ever been told y'all look like somebody famous?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's do it. Top 5 famous people we've been told we look like. And by we, I mean you guys. All right. Yeah, we're going over. I don't care. You know what? I pay for this airtime. I'm doing it. All right. Here we go. All right. Top 5 famous people we've been told we look like. Ben Stiller. Is that you, Dave Toledo?
Totally.
No, that's not me. Ben Stiller. Did you put that in?
Yeah. I used to get maybe 30 pounds ago. I used to get the Ben Stiller Blue Steel a lot back in the Zoolander days. I don't think as much anymore, but
I mean, he was the top male model in the world.
A top male model in the world. He does have kind of graying hair like I do now. If you get recent Ben Stiller photos, so maybe I'm still in there a little bit.
I think you've both aged gracefully, if I may be so bold. So thanks, I think the salt and pepper works for both of you. He's doing more with it, but I think it works for both of you.
Yeah, he's been a little more successful.
Only because he built a school.
Only because he built a. We're not talking about Zoolander. We're talking about like the actual actor Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I thought you meant didn't he build a school for people that don't.
Ben Stiller and Zoolander are both more successful than Josh. Anyway, it's not about that. Josh, I think you look great.
Thanks, man.
Adam Sandler?
That's the one I get the most.
You get that a lot.
I've been told it 100 times, literally, that I look like Adam Sandler. Probably can't see as much with the glasses on right now, but if I take the glasses off, I get it. I've literally had people like screech a car to a halt and be like, "Are you Adam Sandler?" Like they were. I mean, they weren't joking around. They really thought I was Adam Sandler. So. Yeah,
I feel like his hair is like down more like in a Caesar. Like, do you on the weekends when you go get a Frappuccino, it's like down or something more?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've had similar cuts over the years, but yeah, maybe young Adam Sandler too.
I've never even seen your hair down, Josh. Your hair is always in the same.
Always up.
I know.
Best Adam Sandler movie?
Big Daddy.
Oh, I really like Uncut Gems lately. That one's been really good. That was not good. The funniest.
You see the one where he's doing the Jennifer Aniston? He did the 2-part kind of action film thing.
Yeah,
good little rom-com.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
He just did one where he was also he helped a recruit or something get to the NBA. I forget what the name of the movie is.
That was really good too. Yeah,
it was a great. Yeah,
Hustle. I like that a lot.
Watch Hustle. There's a lot of. It's a real NBA player, by the way. That was the star of that show, or that movie.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then, Josh, you get Dave Franco?
No. Not me.
That's
I like to do it wrong. Dave Toledo, Dave Franco.
Dave Franco, yeah. If I
get that a lot,
beard off. I get it every once in a while. Why you don't see it?
I mean, I'm trying to make eye contact with the camera right now. It's hard. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I'm not as familiar with Dave. I'll be honest with you. I'm more James. I'm more familiar with James's work. Spring Break Forever, things like that. But no, I could see it here. What is this? Amaury Guish. Can somebody help me with the pronunciation?
So this is a shout out to our friend Mary Corrales. So Mary sends me pictures of this French chocolatier chef that she watches on Netflix, and she's like, "This is the French version of you." I personally don't see it.
Is it a chocolatier?
Chocolatier. Yeah, his name is Amari Guichon.
Guichon. Very nice. I like how all French words just don't pronounce the end. And then Captain Jack Sparrow.
All right, so this is a shout out to our buddy Mike Falia, who so I haven't had a beard. I grew it out for No Shave November last year and kind of just kept it. And Mike Falia has been nonstop, just like he brought like he brought like 10 pictures, or he brought like interchangeable mustaches with a picture of my face on it. So he's one of the first roasts. He was like, "You look like Captain Jack Sparrow."
Yo, that is so good though. I can see like if you put the hat on and then he has like some hair or something, like the hat with like a hair attachment. Yeah, that would kill. That would kill.
Like the hand gestures, just get a little drunk.
Yeah. Oh, really? You do the whole thing, huh? Full body. That's good. That's good. I love it. I love the commitment. You got to get it. You got to want it, and you got to have the capacity
to do it.
Yeah, very good. And you know what? You check all those boxes, David. It's no surprise. This has been a lot of fun. Probably too much fun, maybe. But I don't care. I love it. I absolutely love it. Y'all have been phenomenal. Thanks everybody for getting involved in the comments. Hit that like button one more time. Show a little love out there to David and to Josh. You want to leave us with maybe just a final thought to close it out, David, and then Josh?
No, just go ahead.
How
about
David first? I'll try to moderate from here on out. Yeah, David, how about you? And then we'll go to Josh.
Well, I was just going to say, Ben, thank you. This has been a lot of fun, man. You are an incredible conversationalist. So appreciate, you having us on the show and having some fun with us, man. So thank you.
Thanks. Been an honor. Really appreciate the comments, the kind words. Josh?
Yeah, I was kind of in the same vein, man. I think you've come a long way, Ben. We met each other a long time ago, and I'm just thrilled to see the journey you've been on and seeing what you're doing for the industry, and just a pleasure, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. I don't know, probably 10 years or something through the game, right? And I think we both grown a lot. You yourself. I mean, it's really cool to watch what you're doing and to be kind of at the top of the industry and leading BAMM and just doing some really phenomenal things. And I just thank you both. And you, Josh, too, specifically for supporting me and what I'm doing and letting me kind of come through and, do a show at BAMM or just kind of do something crazy here and there. And I just appreciate y'all just being there and supporting. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for not talking about some of those late nights at ERC as well, man.
Yeah, I try to let you off the hook, man. I try to let y'all. Greg saying too much fun. Shane's great show. Hosea, great show. Yeah, thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Hey, we couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't have a show without you. We'd be one of those other top 5 best relocation podcasts if we didn't have y'all watching. So thank you so much for being out there and getting involved and making this conversation, multiple ways. I don't want to say something bad. Anyway, hey. Check us out next week. Thank you all. Hit that like button. Josh, you had something? You want to say something?
We got to get you in the top 5 in ChatGPT, man. We got to figure that out.
We got to start ranking. Can somebody say something nice about me on the AI internet, please? Maybe it doesn't count me as a podcast. I'm going to get back to
Go talk to some robots quick.
I'm going to talk to some bots. All right, y'all. Thanks, everybody.